All right, rock and roll. Welcome, friend and foe, sinner and saint. We're here on Monday. God, Monday. Where did the hell did that weekend go? April 14th, 2025, episode 90. I don't like harking on it too much, but had a nice little meeting earlier today with Stacy, and she basically said, "Hey, you got to get a little structure here, man. This can't be a free-forming thing. This isn't the 60s, kid. This isn't Woodstock, man. This isn't free love." She didn't say any of that, but she just said, "But just start telling people when the episode is. Start labeling it like you did before." And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I did label them before, and I don't know what happened. I don't know how I got off the path. You know, it's like one of the things I used to really like to do is just get in the car and just drive. You know, and I haven't done it in forever, but just go. And you come to a stop sign, you decide left or right. You flip a coin, whatever you do, and you just go, and then literally 3 hours later, you just see where you're at. You know, of course, now with GPS, you can get back. Back then, literally, I spent 3 weeks in Barstow because I didn't know how the hell to get back. But, you know, I went over to my folks' house today, and we watched golf. It's one of our common things that we do together. And I don't know if any of you watched it, but Rory McIlroy, one of the greatest golfers in the world, he had never won at the Masters. And there's four majors that complete the Grand Slam. There's the Masters, the U.S. Open, the PGA, and the British Open. And if you, during the course of your career, win one of each, it's called a career Grand Slam. And Rory had won three of them. He had never won the Masters, and he was trying to accomplish the career Grand Slam today. And I'm telling you, I don't know if you've seen Leaving Las Vegas, but this guy was more of a train wreck than Nicolas Cage, right? I mean, Nicolas Cage moves to Vegas, and he goes, you know what I'm going to do? I got enough money for 30 days. I'm just going to drink myself to death. Somehow, even in the midst of that, he finds Elizabeth Shue, okay? The hooker with a heart of gold who takes care of him. Right. Okay, hey, let's just go with it. It's the movies, okay? Always loved Elizabeth Shue, great actress. You know, sorry, you got past 40. Sorry, we don't have any need for you in Hollywood, okay? But Rory McIlroy, you know, he had a bad first hole. He got behind. I consider him the enemy, okay? He's like Darth Vader. It's Bryson DeChambeau, and he went over to the Evil Live Tour. That's like the Empire, right? And Rory, to me, was like Luke Skywalker. Bryson DeChambeau was Darth Vader, and we had to slay him. We're not using lightsabers. We're using pitching wedges, okay? That's what we're doing. And I'm telling you, man, the Rory is all over the place. You know, he's up like 4 strokes. You think he's got it locked up, and then he comes to the 13th hole, and he has a shot. Now, look, this is literally one of the 2 or 3 most talented golfers in the world, right? And he has a shot that I could make. Now, there's a problem right there, right? When he starts playing worse than me, we got a real problem. Houston, we've got a problem. And he had about this 50, 60-yard chip shot into the green, and he missed it by 15 yards. I was like, oh, my God. Like, the kids at the junior clinic at the little golf range I go to wouldn't have made it a shot that bad. And I'm just watching it going, come on, man. Can't you just do this? And it was just like the stocks lately, right? Up and down, right? So eventually he tied it. You know, he bogeyed the last hole, so they went to a playoff. I thought they played a 3-hole playoff, you know, because it seems a little fair. You've already played 4 days. You've already played 25 hours. Can't we just play 3 holes in case guy just hits one bad shot? But, you know, that's not going to accommodate TV, okay, John? Forget what's fair. We got to make the TV happy. And then I got to watch Jim Nantz, who I really enjoy. But, man, I get a little tired of them waxing poetically about how great Augusta is. Yeah, okay. Why don't we talk about the 70 years of racism? Why don't we talk about the 80 years of misogyny? Why don't we talk about the homophobia? Why don't we talk about great players like Lee Trevino saying he didn't feel welcome there and he changed his shoes in the parking lot, never went into the locker room? Yeah, great history. Oh, wait, it's like everything else Donald Trump's doing. Let's whitewash it. All right, whatever. Cool, whatever. But it is a great tournament. It is a great sporting event. Kudos to Rory. Love you. I was just, honestly, I was just waiting to see if he lost. Like, what kind of train wreck was that going to be? I mean, really. It was going to be just catastrophic. It's going to be like the space shuttle exploding on re-entry. Man, you wouldn't want to be within literally 2 clicks of that kid. All right. Welcome. Like I said, hit the like and subscribe button. You are at ground zero in the resistance. We're going to burn the mother effers to the ground here. We're taking no prisoners, telling no lies. Let's talk about something that's going on in the political scene right now. And with the ups and downs in the stock market, there's been a lot of questions. Is there insider trading in the Trump administration? Now, as of this moment, there's 13 billionaires who play an active role inside the administration. This just in, billionaires do play the stock market. They play the short position, they play the long position. If they have information of Trump imposing or pausing tariffs, that could be very beneficial to them and their portfolio. So let's just cue it up, the Sunday shows, and just see what we have here going, right?
Moves are leading to some new fallout on Capitol Hill as Democrats are making allegations that some folks within the president's inner circle may have had a heads up that this tariff walkback was coming. Starts with this Truth Social post where the president tells everyone it's a great time to buy.
Now, let's take that at what it is. I'm not going to say that's proof of insider trading, though if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it probably is a duck, but let's give the man a little leeway here. He is, if the stock market's going to be coming down, he's going to try and get you to buy. Maybe it enriches his friends. I don't know. Let's continue down this path.
And fueled by this video posted by a White House staffer last night from inside the Oval.
This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million.
That really happened. That really happened. Now, I want you to understand something. Somebody inside the White House was so proud of that, they posted it on social media. I had a conversation yesterday with super producer Stacy, and she brought this up, and I said, I didn't even know if it was real. And then I started going down the rabbit hole, and as far as I could tell, that's real. Now, I know AI is pretty Nobody is doing insider trading. Really? Seems a little naive to me to think they're so government-oriented, altruistic, that, hey, I can make some money because I know the president's going to pause tariffs, but I'm not going to do it because that would be immoral. And they chuckled, for they understood the absurdity of it all, didn't they? Oh, my gosh. So, Cory Booker, who might be my new hero because he went 25 hours without using the restroom on the floor of the Senate. God bless you, man, and that bladder control. I don't know how you do it. I drink a glass of water in the morning, and I swear to God, I'm like a colander. And he called on Sunday for investigations into this video, this possible insider trading. The Democrats have been questioning whether anybody traded improperly after Trump said on social media, what you just heard, that people made, it was a time to buy, and that people inside his circle made egregious amounts of money that day, right? I will say this. I saw a White House briefing, and I want to say 2-3 weeks ago, not sure on the date, Peter Doocy the correspondent for Fox News, asked Carolyn Levitt, is anybody in this White House shorting the market? Basically, that means you're betting that the market will go down. A la announcing tariffs, things like that. She came back adamantly saying nobody here would ever do that. All right. Let's just see where that goes, right? Obviously, the Democrats got no power here. They can't hold hearings. They can't hold investigations because they do not have the majority in the Senate or the House, right? Just what it is, right? I'll tell you something. Seeing Bernie and AOC this weekend really got me going. I mean, it was just a fantastic thing. And I don't understand why we're not seeing 46 other Democratic senators out there off their lazy goddamn asses and fighting for democracy. I know Chuck Schumacher wants to go on his book tour so he can stuff his already overstuffed pockets with more money. But man, why aren't you out there? Why aren't you out there? Why don't you just take a soapbox, go to the middle of Times Square, go down to Union Square, go down to Pershing Square in Los Angeles and start talking to the local media? Just do it. You've got the bullhorn. You know? It's just incredible. All right. We're also going to get to another story that, Trump announced there was going to be massive tariffs on all these countries. Everything he was going to institute it. We had this formula, and literally my head feels like it's going to explode having so many different podcasts explain where this bloody hell formula came up, right? Honestly, the only one I haven't heard, and one that's probably true, is that Trump has an illegitimate love child and he wrote it on crayon on a piece of paper, and Trump goes, yeah, that's the new tariff formula. Okay? I mean, that's about the only thing I haven't heard. It's probably the closest to the truth. But, so he announced that there was going to be a 90-day pause. Oh, what a shock. What a shock that he announces these hard, I'm a tough, me, Donald Trump, me knock you down with tariff, me show you I am badass. And then the next day, he's like the cuckold. He capitulates. Oh, well, we're going to do a 90-day pause. Oh, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. Look, even the tariffs he says he's doing, we don't even know if he's doing, right? It's like I talked to a MAGA supporter, all right? And she tells me, she goes, well, she's amazed at the lack of transparency, or like, what is going on with the government? What are they actually cutting? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what is going on there. No clue. And like I've talked about on this podcast, the New York Times has 3 reporters. And let's be honest, if you get to the New York Times, you're a pretty damn good reporter. You're pretty smart, right? You know how to investigate. You know how to find stuff. They've got 3 reporters trying to figure out how much Doge is actually saving, and they can't find it. They can't figure it out. Yeah, I know. Elon says, oh, I've saved $1 trillion. Well, the wall of receipts seems to indicate they're only between 6 and 12 billion. And I'm not saying that isn't a number, okay? I'm not saying that. But they're just cutting, they're stopping funding, and they act like that's a savings. It's not necessarily. Like we talked about, and I was talking to the same Doge supporter. And look, she's a smart lady. Okay, we're on the other side of the political aisle. But here is the thing. Let's take the Department of Education, for example. Okay, they're going to cut it all. Okay? Now, are they going to give that money to the states? Because if they do, then they're not saving any money. And if they cut the department and don't give the states that money that they're already getting, how is that going to improve education with less money? I mean, let's talk about what that is in this country. You want to see the bottom third of all the states with the poorest educational records? You want to look at 32 through 50 of literally the piss poorest educational systems? It's the South. Yeah, wow, welcome. Welcome, Mississippi. Hey, how you doing, Texas? Oh, let's not forget about Alabama. Oh, Missouri. Oh, we got Louisiana there fighting for 48th. Oh, and let's always remember the number 50, Arkansas. Yeah. Sarah Huckabee really doing a hell of a job there. Really doing a hell of a job. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, like I tell you, this is like a river. It finds its own path. But so Trump said he was going to pause all the tariffs for these countries, but China was going to get 154%. That was going to be the tariff. Damn it. We are going to lay it down to our Chinese counterparts. We're going to show them we're busy. We're going to take it to them. We're going to take it to the streets. It's like the Doobie Brothers, right? Taking it to the streets, right? Fight it on, man. Come on, Kramer. Let's take it to the streets. Damn it, we're not going to take any more catalogs. Yeah, you are, buddy. So Saturday morning, the White House, those little rascals, I guess they're doing it because they're up all night from ketamine. They issued a series of numbers in a press release that were listed as exempt from the 125% tariff on goods entering the country from China. Interesting little memo. Okay. The code. I'm going to give you the code here. Okay. I got to hydrate. It's going to be a long number. Don't look at me like that. I understand numbers. I also understand symbols. And even because I read books that have a lot of pictures doesn't mean I'm not smart. My mom tells me I'm smart. Love you, Mom. The number, the code, 8517.13.00.00. What does that mean? Is that the number of racist and misogynistic things Elon Musk has said in the last year? Could be. Could be. But that is the U.S. Customs list to represent smartphones. Interesting. This inclusion means that the number one Chinese export to America in terms of dollars, value, was exempted from the import taxes and the new tariffs. How could that be? What? Maybe we got to keep that Apple stock up there, huh? U.S. Commerce Secretary Harold Lufnick, the guy who says, don't worry if your Social Security check don't get here. It'll probably come next month. Just days ago, announced that part of the point of escalating tariffs on China was to bring back iPhone production to the United States. Seems like we had quite the U-turn in the last couple of days. Maybe we ought to get Howard Lufnick out there on the Sunday news shows. I happen to notice I haven't seen him in a week. I wonder what's going on. Maybe he's in that San Salvador prison. Oh, hopes and prayers. Hopes and prayers, John. Now, the U.S., in the midst of the 154%, 125%, whatever goddamn number they're going to put out today of tariffs on China, has exempted the number one import from China. Wow. And they didn't publicly announce it. They just had a press release on Saturday morning. Oh, wow. What a shock. What a shock. So, according to Counterpoint, which is a global technology market research firm, as much as 80% of Apple's iPhones are made in China. I'm surprised it's only 80%. Okay? Because God forbid we make them here, right? Now, their profit margins are anywhere between 40 and 60%. God, I'm telling you, man, that Apple is just like a license to print money. I want to tell you a story. And it's about super producer Stacy. Okay? I didn't understand I didn't understand that she was going to draw me into her little wicked web. Yeah. So I've known her for 25 glorious years. It's awesome, right? And I remember her a couple years ago. You know, she's got her, let's just put it mildly, eccentricities. Okay? Nothing bad, but she's just got her thing. And I remember her a couple years ago, probably 10 years ago, she was like, oh, I'm an Apple girl. I only do Apple stuff. And I was like, you know, I got the Samsung, right? I'm like, yeah, but the Samsung, hello? I can do swipe type. And she's like, please. I'm an iPhone girl. I'm an iPad girl. Whatever the other stuff is. And then, and this is to the brilliance of this sly. She should have been a super spy. She really should have been. Because next thing I know, I said, hey, let's do this podcast. And she's down. Next thing I know, I got an iPhone. Hello? Hello? How did she do that? You know? Right? Now I'm part of their ecosystem. I was even asking her, hey, should I get an iMac? She's going, I don't know, John. I don't know if you can handle it. Probably the best advice I've ever been given in my life because I can barely turn on the iPhone. An iMac? Oh, John, you kid yourself. You kid yourself, right? But let's say this is a hell of a coincidence here, but Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, somebody who donated $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund, is the CEO of this iPhone that literally just got exempted from all the tariffs. You know, people tell me, John, you're far too cynical. And I say it's only because I look at what really is happening. Just like you. That's why we are at scorched earth, right? We're not here. Well, some people say it's because the male modeling thing petered out. But hey, you know, I'm here. Trying to bring truth to reason, reason to truth, right? Now, in the midst, and this is kind of like the silver lining that's going to get me through my Monday. We're having reports in the weekend press that the trade hawk Peter Navarro is being sidelined and being replaced by U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Navarro was the author of the infamous equation that set the so-called reciprocal tariffs in proportion to the size of the country's trade surplus, calling it the sum of all cheating. Now Bessent is leading all the trade renegotiations for the next 90 days. Yeah. Okay. So now, after we really punch China in the face, I'm sure Xi is going to have to get plastic surgery. He's so battered. Over a quarter of Chinese total exports are now exempt from the 125% tariff. Sure, Tim Cook had no sway with the White House. Not a thing. Nope. John, quit being so cynical. That's why you're here. You guys just listen. I'm the cynical human being. Okay? I'm the cynical P-R-I-C-K. I'm trying to keep my language. I don't want to lose super producer Stacy. She tells me, John, sometimes you got to watch your language. I'm like, hey, a scorched earth, man. I'm talking about burning the earth to the ground, and let's start again. You're worried about a couple adjectives? But you made me get an iPhone. Look, there it is. There it is. Green. What are you going to do? All right. That's it for today. But don't be sad. Be happy. I love y'all. We're in this together. We're going to win. It's literally just going to, I hope you all have health insurance because God bless you. I don't know if we're going to make it 4 years. Kumbaya. All right. I love y'all. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Where is my little, yeah, there we go.